Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Closet Movie Rambles, where I talk about old movies that I found in my closet while cleaning. This week's movie is Monty Python's The Flying Circus, or rather the episode The Spanish Inquisition, which is about 30 minutes long. And the movie starts with a man running across a field with a type of flying gear on his back, and he falls off a cliff and lands down with the rocks, like many others have. And then cutting to John Cleese on a just beside the man saying, and now time for something completely different, which is a running sketch in the Python community. And then the intro plays, which is an animated intro. And then cutting to Yarrow, I think it's Yarrow, New York, 1911s. And a man walks in to talk to his wife about there's been some trouble with the troddle or something. And I think it's like a wordplay. I'm not that very good at English, but it's a wordplay. And all of a sudden the Spanish Inquisition bursts in. And they're accused of heresy for some reason. And this is the brilliant thing about the Python sketch. It's like, it's just the most random stuff you can think about. So what happens is that the man's wife get a dish rack like tied to her chest. And it's just a weird thing. And the man gets called by one of the actual people that work at the BBCs. To be in another sketch. So he gets driven out to this location where he's supposed to open the door for a salesman, and this salesman is actually selling jokes. It's hard to explain, but it's just a funny sketch, and he gets called out on this sketch, and it's supposed to be like a punchline, but he hasn't read the script, and there was obviously a punchline, but we're not gonna know about it. But it was obviously funny because John Cleese, or the character that he's supposed to represent, the British broadcasting guy, he laughs at the joke. This part is also kind of stupid. They need to borrow this Hyde actor's head for a cheap animated sketch, which actually happens. There's some kind of weird kind of crossbreed dimension. They have like these animations that are really weird and wacko, like something out of the 70s or 60s, and you have to see it to actually understand what it's about because it's all crazy stuff. And then there is cut to like a meeting. So they're all like random sketches throughout the movie, but the main kind of hook to the thing is the Spanish Inquisition, like they arrive over and over again. So, as I said, cutting to a meeting where a couple of taxidermies, people talking about taxes, not taxidermy, they're supposed to decide what to put tax on. So they want to put tax on actually having sex, which is kind of funny. One of the guys actually said, well, that will make my job much more interesting, which is, I don't know, kind of stupid. And then cutting to people's reaction to, or rather what they want to tax. So there's this random guy, like a hillbilly standing in water, but I guess the English version of that, saying that I want to tax everybody that stands in water. And then he looks around and realizes he stands in the middle of the water. And then cutting to an old woman and a much younger woman going through family pictures. And of course the Spanish Inquisition arrives and the old woman is accused for heresy. So she gets poked by a soft pillow and get to sit in a comfy chair. And then there is some crazy animation and cutting to a drama about, I don't know what, there's like a play, but they don't talk to each other. They use signal flags to say what they're thinking. It's kind of weird, but it's really out there. And then cutting to a court where there is supposed to reach like a verdict, like a sentence for a corrupt judge, I guess. And they have this word play where they aren't allowed to say the words, but they gesture and do all kinds of pantomime and mimics to convey what words they are. And of course it ends with them expecting the Spanish Inquisition to burst in, but they do not. They're in fact late, so they're kind of between like the end credits and the Spanish Inquisition kind of getting there on time. So they go by the bus, and just about as burst in the door and declare like nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, the movie kind of ends. So what do I think about the Python episode about the Spanish Inquisition? It's my kind of humor. I have another favorite episode that I couldn't find because apparently I have two of the same disc. So my favorite Python episode ever is the Minister of Silly Walks, which is about a ministry which is dedicated to silly walks, which is just brilliant. It's like no rhyme or reason to it, just that's what it is. But my second favorite episode is the Spanish Inquisition. So it's something about this kind of dark, weird, random humor that I like, and something that it's hard to recommend to people actually, because I think the Python episodes were made in like the 60s or 70s, but some of the humor still hits today. So I don't know. Can I recommend it to somebody? I don't think so, but if you like weird humor and like sketches that don't make sense, and especially if you like British humor, I guess, you give it a go, give it a watch, you know? Yeah. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.